Wednesday, which means we get to talk to Mike Lupica, daily news columnist, MLB.com columnist, esteemed author, and he joins us now. And Mike, first of all, happy Thanksgiving. And are you and Taylor able to get together the whole crew for Thanksgiving, or are they too spread out?
This is one of the rare occasions in the lives of my sons. Hannah will be with us. Zach, because we're all going to go to Connecticut for Christmas to see the grandsons and kind of celebrate it at Christopher's house. And Alex is with his wife out on Long Island. Zach's in Southern California, so he's not going to come east twice. And Christopher and the kids and Kim are up in they are up in Connecticut. And so we'll have about 10 people, though. We have about 10 people for tomorrow. And if we creatively schedule the carving of the turkey, Michael, we can miss most of the Giants-Cowboys game.
Now, you're somebody I respect, and this has been something that we fought about for most of the last week. Peter is going to a restaurant tomorrow for Thanksgiving. I think it's a heinous idea. Your thoughts?
No, you know what? I am not a holiday snob. I think that if Peter is too lazy to get a turkey and carve it, no. No. Because listen, there have been times in the past where we get the turkey from somewhere,
right,
and bring it to the house. So I don't believe it's sacrilegious for my friend Peter to go to a restaurant and enjoy himself without the pressures of. Let me ask him this, okay? Have you celebrated Thanksgivings at home?
Oh, yeah, yes, we hosted the last couple of years.
Okay. Are you allowed to carve the turkey?
I've carved the turkey, sure.
There was a little hesitation there, Peter.
Well,
I think we all heard it.
Listen. This feels like the movie Avalon. You carve the turkey. I'm not a great carver, but my wife is a great cook. There's a major piece that my friend Michael is leaving out to you, Mike. My wife is now past 8 months pregnant. We don't want to host, so we're going to the restaurant.
How can you ask that question? That is a skeevy, yes, that's right, skeevy thing to do, to not tell me that Peter's wife is past 8 months pregnant. Of course, she should. You know what? She should be waited on tomorrow. Absolutely.
Thank you, and that's what we're going to do. And he's an animal this year.
And you're shocked
sorry
at
you were
me. Did you
Mike.
see me work as a reporter? That's my game plan, man. Be skeevy.
No, is this how you used to get all that crap out of Billy Martin by tricking him? Did you trick him, Michael?
No, I did not. Not Billy, because Billy would have beaten me up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was a little scared of him too.
But I'll tell you what.
What
I was saying about Peter, he could have it catered, and his wife wouldn't have to lift a finger. I think it's important to be with family in the home, not at home.
No. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. When did you become the mayor of Thanksgiving?
Oh, that was a couple of years ago.
Call.
I mean, did the rest of us not? Were we not allowed to vote in this election?
Yeah.
Where you became the mayor of Turkey
Why
Town?
don't you tell Mike, Peter, where you're going? Why don't you tell him that?
I will. By the way, they should be paying for advertising how much we've talked about it. Real quick, by the way, Mike, it's amazing that Michael Kay is the arbiter of all things Thanksgiving when well into his 40s, he was probably spending Thanksgiving picking up women at Blondie's, but that's neither here nor there.
Whoa. Oh, man.
There's a lot to be thankful for.
Taking a wrong turn on this festive holiday eve.
Now, by the way, Mike, I think what I'm going to tell you about where we're eating makes me win the argument even more, and Don will agree. We're going to the lovely Brazilian barbecue establishment, Fogo de Chão. We're going to have delicious meat coming at us from every angle, and they have a Thanksgiving special.
Wait. So there's... Wait. You had me. Okay. Wait. You there's no turkey involved?
No. There is. In addition to the regular meats that they serve, they have the turkey, stuffing, Thanksgiving items.
Okay. Then no, I'm fine with it. I was just afraid it was going to be like a Taco Bell.
No, come on. I'm classy.
All right, let's move on to
Pilgrims got along with the Brazilians. You know, that's always the forgotten little piece to that whole story.
Yeah, the Brazilians part of Plymouth Rock. Mike, Blake Snell, is baseball in trouble that the Dodgers, I mean, it sounds funny because that was the Yankees' job for all these years, that the Dodgers get seemingly everyone they want?
I just got a text from my pal, Pete Saccone, once my radio producer, and he's probably the smartest guy still up in Bristol. And he pointed out that they have now signed 5 of the contracts north of $100 million since the beginning of like 2 seasons ago, and he was speculating how the whole world's hair would be on fire if it were the Yankees doing that. But somehow the Dodgers, they don't take the incoming flack for spending money that the Yankees do. Even though I was talking about this with a friend of mine earlier today, because the Dodgers, with that contract for Ohtani, I don't know if we talked about this yet. They found a way to game the system. Yep. It's a unique situation where he was willing to take all that deferred money. But I think there's like some vulgar amount of deferred money that the Dodgers have on the books. But they don't pay a full penalty for that. And you know, in addition to having a great front office and a great manager and great players, they obviously have great accountants. And at some point, I have a feeling that there's going to have to be something done to legislate that much deferred money being on the books, but not on the books in a way that teams have to pay a big penalty for it.
And the other issue, too, is you've got these billionaire owners, led by Steve Cohen, that can dip into their own finances to pay for players. So it's not even big market, small market. It's rich owner, richest owner. With these regionals all going under and with baseball propping up some of these regional networks, and it seems to be more and more every day, would the owners ever fight for a salary cap? Would they be willing to shut this sport down the way the NHL did to finally get that salary cap?
I don't see them ever shutting the sport down ever again. I mean, I can still remember what it was like going up to Yankee Stadium for an afternoon game in August of 1994 that we knew was the last day of the season, still never dreaming that they would cancel the World Series. Michael, remember that? I mean, Mike, I think they played, we've talked about this, I think they played the Blue Jays that day. And it was an afternoon game, and I ended up taking a bunch of kids to the game. And so do I think that this sport will ever face that ever again? No, I don't. But I don't know how you stop the runaway, and they're playing by the rules. Cohen's not breaking any rules. The Dodgers aren't breaking any rules. The Yankees, all those years when they were outspending anybody, they weren't breaking any rules. But you wonder what's going to happen, and if we're going to see a Kansas City make it to the World Series, if we're going to see the Cleveland Guardians make it to the World Series, if we're going to see those sorts of teams. I mean, I know the Rangers won the World Series, just the other day, but they play in Dallas. I mean, they didn't have a payroll as big as the Dodgers did, but it's troubling because and guess what? Them signing Snell doesn't mean they're out of it on Soto. Do you guys think so?
No, I don't think they're out of it either. They can get whoever they want.
And the Soto thing, it's kind of fun because I'm getting the sense, by the way, that I don't think it's going to be dragged out. Do you guys have that feeling? Because I don't. I think even Scott Boras got a wake-up call last year when he kind of screwed a couple of his clients by waiting too long. Now that's not going to happen to Soto. He's going to get his money. But I have a feeling that this will play out between Thanksgiving and whenever Peter's whatever restaurant he goes to for Christmas. I think
December 9th, sometime either just before.
Well, wait, Peter. What's the due date?
The due date? No, it's not until January. We got time.
Okay. So we don't have to do it today, but we'll pick where you're going for Christmas. But sometime between now and Peter's next holiday dinner out, I think Soto will have landed on his new team.
See, the one thing that I think there is a possibility they could shut down the sport is now,
What?
I don't know if you disagree with me. I don't know if there's ever been more of a disparity between the haves and the have-nots. But the thing that makes this different, there's a disparity now between the haves and the used-to-haves. The Cubs aren't going to play in this kind of water. They're not going to do it. The Texas Rangers aren't going to do it. Teams that would be considered big market teams, they're going to be priced out as well. I just think there's too much of a disparity. I think the Yankees will always survive. The Mets will survive. The Red Sox, the Dodgers. But the other teams, I'm not quite sure that they could play in this part of the water. They can't.
Well, here's the thing, Michael, because look at what's happening. Let's save the Cubs. Okay, let's say the Cubs start to slip back towards the irrelevancy that the Red Sox have felt over the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, it's hard to believe now that the Red Sox were as close as they were to the World Series 3 years ago. It's only 3 years. Remember, they were 2 games to 1 up on the Astros, and then they stopped hitting, and the Astros ended up going to the World Series.
And then they stopped spending.
But here's the thing. Now John Henry found some money under the bed because he is finally listening to an increasingly irate fan base. And everything I'm hearing out of Boston, and they're not saying that they're going to get Soto, but that they're very much in it, and they've already upped their offer once. Now, the question is, to me, the $700 million question is this. Is $600 million going to be enough, or is Scott obsessed with breaking another record? And then who's going to go to 7? I actually think that Cohen would go to 7. I don't know what the Red Sox were. I don't know that Hal would. And who knows what the Dodgers can do if they think they have a legitimate chance to get him. Because you guys know this. My feeling all along has been that he's looking for something north of $700 million to go past Ohtani.
Just like he did with Alex. He wanted to double Garnett, and that's exactly how he plays.
The old double Garnett. And, that's the funny part about this. I think I wrote about this last Sunday, that Scott went through this whole thing where they did the interviews and the prospectus and where they are in the farm system and where they're going to allocate other funds to sign players, and they considered all that, and then he signed for the most money.
Right.
That's how it worked out.
After the embarrassment against the Buccaneers, I'm ready to move on. They quit on Dable. I just can't double down and give these guys another 3 years with another quarterback, even if it means maybe letting go of a decent coach. I've got to start fresh. Am I wrong to think that, especially the way that this team has played recently, and especially the effort against Tampa Bay?
Don, I wrote a column this morning. I actually don't know whether it's been posted yet. It'll probably be in the print edition tomorrow. I believe that last Sunday, because of everything that has led up to this, is as low a point as there has ever been in the 100-year history of the Giants. And I know that sounds dramatic,
it's not.
Okay? But when you consider how bad they have been since the last Super Bowl, and they have lost their way. They have become just another bad football team in a chaotic coaching and front office situation. They have had 2 winning seasons since the second Super Bowl against the Patriots. 2. They have a record as bad as there is in the sport. And I believe that even though the Jets have won one more game, and you could see the Jets maybe, skeeving out a couple of wins the rest of the way, I don't believe there has ever been a season that felt as lousy as this one has in New York, ever. It was just the other day that they both were 4-13. Okay, and the Jets have been lower. Obviously, they were 1-15 before Bill Parcells came to save them. But with the expectations for the Jets and the way the Giants never got better after getting their doors blown off in the first game, and now we've got a season where we have had one team bang an offensive coordinator, a head coach, a general manager, and I believe that story in The Athletic. I don't think Woody Johnson, it's not like he's a laugh riot. So I don't think he was kidding around when he talked about benching a quarterback that he had done everything except adopt once he got here from Green Bay, okay? And on the other hand, since the last football season ended, we have lost a quarterback from the Giants, a guy who might be the MVP for the Eagles. Xavier McKinney, he went to the Packers. He's now leading the world in interceptions. And it was just over a year ago that they got rid of Leonard Williams, who has 5 sacks for the Seattle Seahawks, who play the Jets now. So when you look at all of that has happened, I don't believe there has ever been a drearier, lousier pro football season in New York than this one.
Talking with Mike Lupica, his weekly session with us on every Wednesday on the Michael K. Show. You and I both lived through, the Pat Riley and Jeff Van Gundy years. We were there a lot. And that team was great, but it was a lunch pail team that really played hard defense, and they would knock you down. I don't think I can remember an offense this dynamic as the Knicks are putting out there. Can you?
No. I mean, not since the glory days.
Right.
I mean, not since the a team as beloved as any we've ever had in New York sports. Any baseball, football, those old Knicks, DeBusschere and Captain Willis and Clyde and all that. Okay, this is a really beautiful offensive team to watch. I still have concerns about depth. But if OG is also capable of scoring 40, so now you got Towns can score 40, Jalen Brunson could drop 40 on you anytime he wants to. Now you got OG, now you got Bridges, now you got Josh Hart, who would have fit in on any good team the Knicks have ever had, including the old Knicks. And
he's the ultimate Knick.
Yeah, so do I again? I'm not cranking up the bus to head down to the Canyon of Heroes. They're only 10-7, and they could go to 10-8 tonight. But I do think it's a work in progress. But nothing we have seen so far indicates that they are not going to be an ascendant team as the season goes along. Because, again, they're playing a beautiful band of basketball. We didn't think that. We had a whole lot of fun in the 1990s. We didn't know how good we had it. And even with the knockdown, drag-em-out way that they played, and Riley's ultimate theory, Mike, you were there, you were working those games. His theory was this: they're not going to call everything. That was the Bible for those Knicks, okay? And they went to 2 finals, and it was as much a glory time, even without a title, as we've had since the old Knicks. But no, this team is really fun. But that conference is just because of the Celtics alone is tough. I don't think the Cavaliers are going to go away. Even the Bucks are kind of sneaking back up towards the top of the conference, but yeah, this has a chance to be the kind of season. I think we talked about this when the season started, that you hope it will be, which is they build on the incredible excitement that they brought to the city last spring.
And
Mike, go ahead, Don.
Oh, no, you wanted to say goodbye. I want more from Mike, but you sounded like you were willing to say goodbye.
No, please, Don.
No, it does sound. Don't, Johnny. You know what, Don? It does, doesn't it? And it's okay. It's okay. I've known him a long time. It's not like I did anything for his career.
Wow.
And the other day. I'm riding around, Don. This is Michael and Peter. I'll get back to you in just a second. I'm riding around, and I'm playing "Viva La Vida" by Coldplay,
Love that song.
which, as Don knows, was our first. Remember, Donnie, when we first started doing the show together, that was our first, lead-in music. And Alex Lupica, I said I was just, my daughter was laughing at me because I pulled in the driveway and I'm like, it's like blaring, and I'm too old to be blaring music in the car. And I said, oh my God, Alex is right. I had forgotten that was our first theme song. And you know what you never did, Don? You never cut me off or cut me short or tried to end any segment that I was in.
But you know what the funny thing is? Let's get real here. If he tried to cut you off, you would have waved the hand. You would have had him dismiss. Am I right, Don?
See, Michael. Now there, There's a good bang out line right there. You don't, you know, you got, you know what, you know what, you're like Steph Curry. Night night. See, that was good, Michael.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with the family.
You guys all have a great Thanksgiving, and oh my God, it'll be December when we talk next. Have a great day tomorrow, you guys. Okay.
Be well.
Take care, man.
Well, what did you want to say, Don? I mean, what more did you want from him? How much do you want to squeeze the guy? He's doing this for free. I mean, really, you want to keep him on forever?
No, you're right. No, but I don't think I don't want to leave it out there without it being answered. So we're just going to have to wonder what I was going to ask. But
really? You won't even tell us what you're going to ask?
It was going to be great.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I'll save it for next week. It'd still be relevant.
And he's good every week.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's good with you being in a restaurant, Peter, which, I mean, that's validation for me.
He's a normal person.
I'm not. I think you know that, right?
No, I know that. I know for a fact that you're not normal.
But isn't that part of my charm?
But that shouldn't be how you win arguments.
What do you mean?
The insanity plea, kind of like, well, then now you're free to do whatever you want because you're a crazy person.
I think a lot of people get away with stuff because of that.
I don't think it's right.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey once played bongos nude and got away with it. I might do next week's show nude.
We have a name for that, Peter and I.
What's that?
Well,
Full frontal?
HOC radio. HOC?
Yeah, HOC radio.
Love it.
Whenever we're not on Yes, that's what we call it. Let your mind wander.
HOC.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You'll never get it, Michael, because I'm
not that bright.
No, you just don't have the same sensibilities that Peter and I have.